Come on, man. Let me say
Got you.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this about this family, Heather B. They don't even know it, man. I adopted myself. I became Tip brother before he even knew
So
it.
you put yourself in the family.
I put myself in the family.
Just showed up at the cookout.
Man, I've been to the house. I done laid on the couch. I done been everywhere. I've been in this man cave the whole night. Yeah. I fell in love with this man's kids, man, and became uncle, to all of his kids.
Me while I was on house arrest.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, when Tip was
not many people was even able. Not many people had a clean enough record to make it through.
The process to get to you into the house.
They had this shit like I was Obama or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
It was a short line.
Wow.
It wasn't a wait at all.
The process was different.
Yeah, for real.
I think I might have been the only one in line, but
I remember that, man, and I don't take that lightly, So that's when he actually made it into the family.
That's what happened, man. They was feeding me, and they didn't let me go upstairs.
And why do you have a thing with wanting to be upstairs at people's house, bro? I keep talking to him about this. He do the same thing in my house.
Kids' rooms.
I'm just saying, Tip. I'm Uncle Sway. I could have looked in the room and saw something lacking, and maybe provided a painting or something.
Yeah, you'd probably caught some early marijuana detection. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I would have caught, man. But what I admire most is how the world has gotten to know this family, and I liken the family to the Jacksons, if you will. I liken the family to the Marleys. We met the parents, and the children of the parents are as talented,
the Wayans family
like
too.
the Wayans family are as talented as the parents are, and some might argue even more talented because they got the information in the game from the parents, and then they took it and made it on their own. And I have to say, with this young man to the left, nephew, I mean, I know this is rare when we get them both in the studio at the same time.
Right.
Facts.
I know what that's like. I got a daughter who don't want to do nothing with me.
Well,
He's
no different.
Yeah.
He's no different.
And that's what I admire about him. Domani would reach out. We reach out on our own,
dope.
and
Okay.
And I appreciate Tip, not being in the way of that. And I ain't gonna do nothing but show this young man love, but it's because of who he is too. So welcome Domani to the show, citizens.
Yes.
Welcome him back to the show.
Woo!
Thank you.
Back again.
Wow.
Man, that falling track is a beast.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You got Anthony Hamilton and Rhapsody on there.
Two legends.
Did you send him the track, or did you just ask him?
Yeah, I went on tour with Rap City, so we already had a relationship, and I was wrapping up this project with this song, and I just knew she would. I just knew she would wrap it up well. She got away with words, and I just wanted her to write a poem, and she did just that. I didn't give her too much context, and it was just perfect. And then Anthony, he had reached out. And he had commented on some music, and I was like, we need to do something. He invited me to a show. It was dope. That was like the biggest concert that I've seen since COVID, and he killed it. But then I sent him this. He got on everything that I sent him, but this was one of them.
That was the standout. All
yeah.
right.
Can you tell me the headspace you were in when you wrote that? Because if I was just listening to that, and then if I didn't know you, somebody pointed and said, he wrote that, that's his song, I'm like, nah, he's way too young to be, in that space. If you don't mind sharing, because I know it's a creative process, but what headspace were you in when you tapped in like that?
Man, I really don't know. A lot of times I feel like it's the vibe, it's the energy in the room, it's the beat. And then, I don't know, I might have just been a little hungry that day. And, I really don't know, man. It just happens. And I don't record, very often. So that might have been the first song in 2-3 months.
Wow.
And at the time I was trying to wrap up this project, and it's exactly what I needed.
It sounds so good.
Thank you.
So good.
I'm looking at these brothers, man. They both got locks in their hair. I'm the original.
Beautiful.
I'm the original Tip.
Yeah, you are.
I had locks when you thought they were weird.
Yeah, he definitely.
You probably right about that.
Yeah,
man.
Now look at you, baby.
Hey, man, the thing is, right? So when you hit 40, you just got to start, reinventing yourself, and you have to, because if you keep life the same too long, it becomes mundane and redundant, you know. And especially with us men with hair, you got to use it before you lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Before you lose it, there
you
you
had this privilege
go.
for long. You dig what I'm saying? So I want to try all the styles. You know what I'm saying? Because sooner than later it'll be no more.
Okay, but there's a spiritual connotation to locks.
Okay.
You know, when I had my locks, it was my auntie Celia, who was a devout Rasta. You know, she practiced the philosophy of Rastafarians.
Right.
You know, we got people who study Yoruba, Islam, all these different spiritualities and religious sects. And so when I got my locks, it was based on that. But what I noticed is the attention became different towards me.
Okay.
Have you experienced any of that?
Man, I cannot say that I have a conscious awareness of that. I can't say that it hasn't happened without my knowledge. I think a lot of things around me are different now.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't associated it to the growing of my hair, but now that you mention it, it could be related. You dig? But it's it's just a lot. I like to think that I'm putting out different energy. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm receiving different energy, or I'm operating under a different level of consciousness, a different level of understanding, placing myself in different rooms, surrounding myself with different people. You know what I mean? But all of that could be directly associated to my choice to grow my hair.
Lock power.
Which only came from the pandemic, by the way. I'm just tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So this is a pandemic due.
Okay.
Tracy,
that's what I was curious about too, Tip. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see Domani, of course.
She scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what
He thought I was a ventriloquist. He kept
Black
looking over.
woman is God. The black woman is
I
God.
thought this was like I thought this was like a recording or something, an old show.
She live in
This is
Brooklyn.
live.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like with
goddamn,
Toy
what's
Story.
happening? Hello.
She would talk and he look over
You
here.
can look in that camera there, and it'll be like you're looking at her. Go
God
ahead.
damn.
Go ahead, Tracy. Go ahead.
I'm
Look
gonna
at
look here, man.
technology. It feel a bit more natural. I feel you. It's like uncanny valley. But no, going into this conversation about your hair, Tip, like something I also noticed, it tends to be more with women, I guess, because there are just more options for us. But for a lot of artists, when you see something different with their hair, like I remember when Christina Aguilera, when she started adding like black to her hair, and then her sound changed. You know what I mean? Or even when Justin Timberlake had like braids, cornrows, and his sound started to change. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like your hair is now impacting your music? Like maybe
No.
you would want to add like a little reggae flair?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna just remind everybody with a low cut skint fade. My first song that I ever released was featuring Beanie Man called "I'm Serious."
I'm serious.
So
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't need locks,
Yeah.
to have a dance hall flavor in my music. But I mean, I can't necessarily say that I do feel that way. I don't think that it has caused any change in my music. I ain't really been doing that much music lately. You know what I'm saying? I've been kind of like writing films.
Comedy.
Yeah, I've been doing comedy. Right, I just directed, wrote, and produced a comedy series that DC Young Fly and I are executive producing.
Congratulations.
Out the
Fire.
water already. That's
Thank you.
come on.
It's extremely independent. Self-financed.
What's it called?
Departments.
Departments.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
Funny. Oh shit! You got a thumbs up from Domani there. That's funny.
Nah, yeah, absolutely. It's real, like, hood comedy, our stories, our people, the way it is in our communities,
Right.
Especially in Atlanta. If you're in Atlanta, you're gonna associate yourself and relate to this immediately.
I just saw Tip in Times Square directing a video too.
Yeah.
5 mics, right?
Yeah, for five. I was just on the FaceTime with Five. Man, Five, something else. Actually, the video is coming out today at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And him and Fat Joe, the New York, and I jumped at the chance. Me and Street Heat, we co-directed it together. I jumped at the chance to do it just because since COVID, I haven't had a chance to go back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying? So to be honest with you, it really, like a lot of the pictures during quarantine, you know, they were kind of surreal. But when you saw Times Square without a soul, that shit made me. That shit touched me. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
So I just wanted to go back and see his shit in its full glory again. You know what I'm saying? And it was a dope experience. The song's dope, the video's dope, and you'll be able to see it at 1 o'clock.
I love it, man. You wouldn't have saw in the 90s. It wouldn't have been a guy from or the early 2000s from Atlanta necessarily.
Actually, I was there early 2000s.
Damn, Tip, you've done it all, man.
I was actually there in the 90s as well.
Yeah.
I was actually there in the 90s as well. You know what I'm saying? I found out yesterday I'm from Washington Heights.
You Dominican?
Yeah, I'm not Dominican, but you know, I've been accepted into the Dominican family because you know my pops own property like at 155th St. Nick. You know what I'm saying?
Snap.
Yeah, my pops, my uncle, and them, they own buildings right there. They had a candy store up on the hill. You know what I'm saying? That's why I used to, as a child, like 6, 7, 8 years old, I used to kind of like, you know, sell candy and handle business over the counter at the store.
In New York?
In New York. Man, I spent 12 summers out my life in New York.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my pops, he lived in Columbus Tower, was 94th in Columbus, on the west side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I used to play at PS 84 on 92nd Street.
This is fire.
I got partners on 93rd Street. Used to play Manhunt in Central Park, stoop ball, hot peas and butter.
Wow.
Corners.
Manhunt.
You know what I'm saying?
Park.
Yeah, but we spent a lot of time in Harlem though, you know, right in the Washington Heights area because they own property there, had like little juke joints and ran numbers and you know handled their other unofficial business. You did.
Oh, man, I didn't know that, but when I think about how many years ago did I'm Serious come out? That was
2001.
2001. So we're celebrating the
21st year. Ah man, I'm Serious turned 21 the same time as Domani. That's something. Yeah.
All right.
How about that?
Congratulations, man.
I was Tip when you mentioned the project you're executive producing with DC Young Fly. Domani said, "Yo," and it's funny, and it made me curious. Domani, do you run your music by your dad first, and vice versa, just to kind of get that? Yo, is this right? Is this good? You run projects, yo. You think you're like, how does this work? Being in the house with so many talented people.
Nah, it's really based on whatever you like most excited about.
This is true.
But nah, everyone's confident in what everybody does.
Yeah.
But nah, if I feel like I'm really excited about this, I want him to hear it. I want everyone to hear it. So I'm gonna send. We got a little family group chat,
Right.
so we might send something in there. But yeah,
This is true. This is true.
I'm not on that group chat.
He said,
I'm just sending you music. You know.
We said, okay, man.
hey man, but the thing is though, right? He sent it to me, but not for approval. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, hey man, check this out, man. I did this. You know,
Right.
it isn't like whether I like it or not, or whether I agree with it or not. He just sending it to me.
Sending it to.
Like,
Gotcha.
check that out. You know what I'm saying? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know how we always be hearing people say like father like son, you know what I mean? Like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What would you say you guys' differences are and similarities?
The crack era, for one. You know,
Yeah,
I think that would definitely be one huge difference. But I think, man, to be honest with you, I believe that all of my children, they have all adopted different parts of my personality. You know, I think you've known me probably just as long as anyone else in the business has. And I have a very diversified palette of personalities. You know what I'm saying? Just depending on the environment, the experience, the circumstances. And I think that all of them have kind of, like King is probably the most, how do I say? The most of my expected personality, like the way the world. So there's 3 versions of ourselves. There's how the world sees us, how we see ourselves. Then there's who we really are. You dig what I'm saying? So King would be probably the the best example of how the world sees me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they know of me because that's what was largely promoted about me.
What do you mean? What part? Like the bodaciousness?
And audacious, pompous, arrogant.
Okay.
Brave.
Mm-hmm. Brave, King is brave,
short-tempered. Napoleon complex-ish kinda. But a lot of people don't know. For me, the reason I was like that because I grew up on Bankhead. I went to Grove Park Elementary School, which is the public school that you go to when you're from where I'm from, on Bankhead. And I was extremely smart, good-looking, small, light-skinned, well-dressed. I read paragraphs fluently, in places where kids were struggling and stuttering. And I had two options. I could either pretend to be dumb, or I could show people that I could be smart and just as bad as you are. I'm getting just as much trouble and read just as good as you can. And I chose the latter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't look like how I look and be how I am and be as articulate and so on and so forth and have the, just the notion to be how I am in that era, in that place, without having some kind of chip on your shoulder or presenting you. You have to earn the right to be that way. You know what I'm saying? And over time, as smart as I got was as bad as I got, and that's kind of where that came from. But as I evolved and got older, I learned, that I had been investing in actions and activities and develop certain sets of skills that I can no longer use. You know what I'm saying?
At that stage in your life, right?
And so I'm trying to tell King that when I try to tell, hey King, you investing in some shit you ain't even gonna be able to use when you get, and he don't understand it yet, but neither did I. So I just kind of, we work and grow and learn and evolve together as a family.
Was King the one a couple years back that went to get the backpack or something?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
Sway.
I like that. He still
About.
held on to some of that past. All right, okay.
No recollection.
Okay, great. Okay, all right, get that, man. Domani, what are the differences you think?
With me and him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot that was the question.
Yeah, I know. Let me see. Man, we're both. I don't know. I think I think a lot more. He does. He thinks, but I sit down and I won't move unless I think it all the way through. We're both understanding, but I don't know, man. It might just be experience. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
He's experienced a little bit more.
I think he's more thoughtful. Like, he cares a lot more about others than me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I care about others, in the right time. But, like, if it's a decision on me to do something, it's like, okay, well, if I do this, others may, it may affect others. Like, man, fuck that, man. Let's go. We're going to go and do this. And he's more like, well, you know what, man? I don't really want to. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? So he has, a lot more humility and a lot more thought, and he cares a lot more in that way. He's a lot, like he has a pure, good heart. The kind that is kind of dangerous in this society. Is so sincere and genuine. You dig?
Yeah.
That what I'm saying. Somebody got to show some teeth. You know what I'm saying? You got to be somebody around, and that's why I like to keep them with King. You know what I'm saying? So they can balance each other out. You dig?
Yeah.
You didn't grow up like necessarily with a silver spoon though, right?
I had a great life.
Yeah.
Keep it a buck. I like that.
I had a great childhood.
No, Sway, mine was platinum.
Right.
Sorry.
What's a silver? What?
Silver, we don't do that.
Silver?
For the poppers.
Platinum. Shit.
What places of poverty do they have silver spoons? Are you serious?
But no, I definitely didn't grow up bad. But I did grow up with my mom. You know, but wasn't bad at all.
Wasn't bad at all. I admire you, man. I feel for Tip in some ways, right? Because I've watched generations of other ethnicities, find upward mobility in corporations and society and tax status, and then through nepotism put their family members in different positions, and they'll pass on the experience and the information, and you just see what it yields. These people own the world, and so as black folks, now that our generations are starting to have this upward mobility, we want to give it all to our kids, right?
Exactly.
But our kids don't want to take it.
Wiser, but
Man,
right?
yeah. I think that's we the only ones that do that though. That's our culture. I don't know why, but yeah, man.
Why is it for you though?
Now wait a minute. When you say give it out to them and they don't want to take it, because that, I think there's a little context I think could be added to that. When you say they don't want to take it, you mean the information, the opportunities, or the spoils?
The things that the parents built up for them for the next generation.
Like they don't want to follow in the family footsteps. They don't want to operate the family business
in the same way that we did. Like when I look at him, not. I can't think of when you talk about not taking the Grand Hustle chain or doing doing the reality shows, and really want to set himself apart as an artist, right? And it bewilders me sometimes, but I respect it.
Me too. Yeah, it's sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's sacrifice. Like that's a sacrifice. Okay, so just to juxtapose it a bit. Okay. So his sacrifice for his dream was walking away from let's call it the 5-figure check. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it could have been 6. Could have been right at 6. High fives, low 6 figure check to show his dedication to his art, because he didn't want to be known as a cast member of a reality show. He wanted to be known as an artist. He wanted to set out on his own path. Whereas I kind of did the same thing when I was just coming in, but it was okay. So when I first had the opportunity to, I was invited out to LA in 1999 for the Source Awards with KP, Outkast, Goody Mob, so on and so forth. Now, before that invitation, I was still riding my bike selling crack up and down Bankhead, okay? So when I went out and saw how close I was to my dream, I came back, never wanted to sell no more crack, never touched it, gave it away. I gave it away. I had some that I was supposed to be selling that I had to, pay my re-up back with, but I gave that away to my partner and said, I don't want it. You dig? And so I feel like that sacrifice, and I never looked back after that. Well, actually,
don't go there, man.
What I mean is, I don't want to paint the picture as though as soon as I made that sacrifice that everything in my life became, opulent. Okay. You dig what I'm saying? There was still some adverse moments financially that I had to endure. You know what I'm saying? And that sacrifice, me choosing to go through that rather than go back to something that I know could pay me right quick. But I sacrificed a good time now to have a great time later. And I feel like that's the same energy that I peep from his decisions.
Yeah, and it wasn't even wasn't even all about the money. I knew I'm always gonna be cool, but it was a lot of missing a lot of family activities, like a lot of family vacations, family trips, missing a lot of events because I didn't want to be on camera or be on the show or get in the way, and then somebody tell me to step out the way. So it was a lot of that. That's what I would say affected me the most.
That's what affected you the most. Domani's here. Yeah. Man, I love this, man. Thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to talk to you both, because I think Tip, I respect you to the utmost as a father.
Love and respect.
You know what I mean?
Return.
Absolutely. And I respect nephew as a young man, now 21 years of age. We could go to we could go to the club together, not to sneak you in.
That's right.
It's a little different. What I love too is this Family Connect video. Right, the song was released before, so I was like, what is this? Is it a remix or something?
Yeah. Nah, man. So that's the thing about music, man. It's evergreen. You dig what I'm saying? You don't have to, release it on a schedule or a timeline unless it's connected to some kind of conventional corporation that only wants you to do things one way. The beauty of independence is you do it how you want to do it, when you want to do it, as you see fit. And we've had the video for at least 6 months. You know, we just hadn't put it out, didn't figure out, like, you know, I mean, we just thought it was time now. This is the perfect moment.
Messiah on the beats.
Yeah.
That's right.
Come on, man. The whole family. I don't know if we've seen this before. The producer, the 2 artists, all from the same sperm.
Right. Look at what my sperm can do. You know what I'm saying? Just stand back.
Gotta make your sperm an NFT.
Sperm can do.
You know what, Sway? Get.
Listen.
What happened just now?
For 9,000 Ethereum, you too, kid.
Hey, Tip, when did it click? I want to do comedy. What happened?
Man, to be honest with you, specifically, I just got thrown on stage.
Okay.
My partner K-Dub, who hosts a lot of open mic nights, and is very, very huge in the scene in comedy in Atlanta. One of my closest partners, and I was at one of his shows, like one of his events, and we were having a discussion about someone who was on stage, having a horrible go of it, and we both agreed that, you know, man, he need to come on down. It's not working. We both agreed, but we were having a discussion as to why it wasn't working. And he was like, man, nah, man, he bombing because of this. I'm like, no, I think he bombing because of that. And he turned to me like, when you gonna get on stage then, since you know so much? And I'm like, I don't care, I'll do it one day. And as soon as he got up on stage, he said, coming to the stage, whether he know it or not, he funny.
That same day?
Yeah, that same day, right then, right after that conversation. And I was like, at first I was sitting down, I was like, you talking to me? You talking to me? Shit. But then I heard how loud they were clapping. I couldn't just be like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? So from the seat to the stage, I had to figure out something. And I got up there and just kind of just freestyle for 35 minutes, just talking.
What?
30 people be fighting for a 5-minute set.
Yeah. That's one thing about it. I don't have no problem with material. You know, I have so much. I think the first thing I said was, well, this is weird, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? And I got that first laugh, and I just kept, you know. And then it became about, I started talking about me and my old lady, and, you know, how women always, they never are satisfied with a good meal. They always want you to taste their food. And if you don't taste their food, that's a real argument.
Yeah.
If you do not want to eat what your woman is eating at the time, she is pissed off at you for a good half of the day.
So that's why he's funny. It's real. I think comedians bomb because they trying too hard. Like, you digging for material. Just tell the truth. And I think it was Monique who may have said, like, the truth is the funniest thing you could ever. Yeah. And he's living the comedy every day, you know, like, he's just telling things that people can relate to.
This is true.
I get it.
This is true.
Have other comedians, like people you know, Kev Hart, Dave Chappelle, have they hit you up like, okay, man?
I opened up for Kev. I opened up for Kevin Hart.
Damn, man, you opened up for Kev already, man.
Exceptions are made for exceptional circumstances. All I can say, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah, man. Opened up for Kev, and also Donnell Rollins opened up for Donnell. I haven't made my way to Dave's stage yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even called him and talked to him about it. I don't even want to talk to him.
Not ready yet.
Gonna tell.
Yeah, I'm sure that. So I'm waiting on him to call me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've had, you know, like legendary comedians like Chris Spencer, Earthquake. Man, just something like a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah, have seen my show and was like, yo, all right, that's dope. Keep going. Like, in what they respected, I do it every night. I hit a stage every night.
2 shows last night.
Really?
2 of them.
Yeah.
Do you laugh at his jokes?
Yeah.
You do laugh at his jokes?
Especially last night. He's gotten better so fast.
Wow,
yeah.
That's great, man. I know that stamp of approval must mean the most to me.
Man,
and it's not like he wasn't funny. He's gotten like comfortable with telling the truth, like I was saying. So, Yeah, that's all it is. But we was definitely in there laughing last night.
I love y'all dynamic.
You was there, wasn't you?
MOS.
Yeah.
He told me that this morning.
Yeah,
I said,
so
how
this
do you
morning,
do?
yeah.
I said,
Took
how
the
do you do?
wifey
He
out
said he
last
did.
night, yeah.
He did great. It was his wife's birthday, and they came to
What?
see you.
Yeah, we getting
Oh,
you
man.
jumped on stage. You was
Awesome.
like, it was you good, man.
Thank you.
Did you and Godfrey ever talk after the
Yeah,
public?
we spoke.
Yeah, how'd
We
that go?
spoke. We good.
Yeah.
We good. You know, I think that I understand, you know what I'm saying, the nature of his concern or his initial statement. I didn't understand the timing of it because we had already spoke. Like after I got on stage.
oh,
But
okay.
actually, it was brought to my understanding. We spoke before I went on stage, and I said, "Hey, it cool if I do this?" And he said, "Yeah."
Okay.
And I went up, and then when I came down, we chilled and kicked it backstage in the green room. So we had all the time in the world to have this discussion, and I could have been made aware of, you know, whatever point he was making after the fact on another podcast. And I just was like, yeah, bro, I don't understand that. That's weird. You know what I mean? And once I said that, he acknowledged it, and you know, and we moved on.
Yeah, we'll see y'all on stage soon. That'd be great.
Hey, I mean, you know what I'm saying? He can open up for me again if he wants to.
Oh wow, I'm dying. Boom. We getting
I'm
our
just
own comedy
bullshit.
show right now.
I'm just bullshit, man.
All right.
I'm just bullshit.
Hey,
I'm just bullshit.
man,
Shouts out to Godfrey. He a good guy.
Good guy.
Good
Funny,
guy,
man.
Funny ass comedian.
We got Nico on the line from North Carolina. What up, Nico?
What up, Nico?
Hey, Nick.
Man, good morning. But man, I just wanted to say, man, Domani, man, I started paying attention to how you were moving initially when you started your career, man, and I so admired it, man. How you were building your movement organically, and man, in addition to that, man, I actually bring your name up when it comes to some of the younger lyricists, man. J. Cole, Kendrick, Luke. Man, I really big you up, man, on your lyricism, man, and your visuals. And to your dad, man, Tip, if I may, I know you said, you know, most of your close people call you Tip, but man, I don't overlook the sacrifice you made politically, man, and how you utilize the platform. I know that you're doing your comedy thing, man, but I reached out to you a couple times just to tell you that in your DMs. But I know you get a million of those, but I really want to make it known, man, that man, you show so much character in doing that, bro. And man, I appreciate that, man. I thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate it. I don't think
Yeah,
people
man.
understand how much younger than everybody else you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of people under 21 and under
Yeah.
with the kind of perspective and the kind of consciousness and the kind of, and I think, and I believe that is the reason a lot more people aren't aware of him. You know,
Absolutely.
whenever you're doing something genuine, sincere, and you're not using the most relevant negative experiences of the culture, when you're not using that to push your narrative forward,
Yeah.
it's a lot more difficult. You know what I'm saying?
That have that level of consciousness, and that's why I've always gravitated towards. I gravitated to you as a nephew because you're his son initially, but as an artist, it's because of your substance. And I've always tried to tell you that some of the songs that you made in the past, I can identify with as a grown man. You know what I mean? I thought that was important. I came up in the game with the mentality that there's an agenda. You know, why a corporation like that?
Nah, it is.
Yeah.
It was.
It was.
It was, and it has been exposed.
Yes.
It has since been exposed. So your conspiracy theory has been proven true.
True, right? Yeah, and that all that goodness and that mental and psychological nurturing and that, you know, that consciousness that you bring to the table, man, that's just going to elevate people's mindsets.
Right.
You know, and that's how the culture elevates is because of artists
And
like
you'll get
you.
the confirmation when as you go along. You'll know. It's just certain. You'll just get confirmation spiritually, physically, emotionally. You'll just get that confirmation, and you know you headed in the right direction. This is just. It happens that way when you're on that path of your purpose. So love to you. I'm a total fan.
Thank
Total
y'all
fan
so
and
much.
supporter.
Yeah, man.
It's a great way to start the day. Man.
Absolutely. Speaking of my
I
truth.
feel good.
Hey, way to release that dopamine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Way to activate those endorphins.
No problem.
I like that.
Before you guys jump out, though, now I'm even more curious since we're speaking about the industry a bit. Tip, do you have conversations with Domani with just like different labels, like drama that has happened and how potentially it could have been reversed or whatever? The thing that's coming to mind for myself is Mase with Puffy, and recently he was saying that he feels like a lot of the
that shit
titans
20
in
years
music.
too late, man. That shit was
Okay.
20 years too late, bro. You should, man, come on, bro. I mean, again, I'm going to just speak as a fan. As a fan of the culture, as a fan of Bad Boy, as a fan of Mase. You know what I mean? At one time. Like, bro, if that's what it was, what kept you quiet so long? What you quiet for? You ain't like you was fearful of losing your position in the industry because you left the industry. And then you became a pastor. And we're not even going to talk about that. We ain't going to get on that one. Because he was a pastor in Atlanta. And I kind of know people who, but anyway, so I just don't understand. I don't understand the spirit, the air of it. I have not been able to, like, when we wanted to hear from you, you didn't want to say nothing. Now that everybody moved on, you want to take us back to that? Come on, man. The world has moved on.
He mentioned that when he sees the pain in other artists, but made him speak out because he don't want them to believe that he ignored that.
Right.
Man, I just question the validity. I question the genuine nature and the purpose of it all. That's what I think that there's some kind of underlying, ulterior, self-motivated kind of, I don't know. That's just how I see it, bro. That's what I see from it. And I ain't really heard the whole thing. I just about 30 seconds in, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna. I don't even want to travel down that path. Because whatever it is, everybody probably made mistakes, you know, babe. If you think about how you handled yourself back then, it's probably some stuff that you probably wish you can go back, but you can't.
Man, I'm scared of it.
All you can do is make amends. All you can do is make amends and move forward, right?
I'm scared of what people could dig up.
All you can do is make amends and move forward,
yeah,
right?
True.
So, okay, after you've made amends and moved forward, if somebody else, after you've already improved yourself and evolved to a higher level of consciousness and you began to practice better actions, if somebody come and try and take you back to the place you evolved from, man, come on, bro. I'm already beyond that. I done got past that. And you should too. That's how I feel.
But even if there's a sense of accountability, Tip, like how important is
Accountable to who, though?
Right, but even if you hurt someone from the past and if you evolve from that, wouldn't an apology be at bare minimum the most reasonable gift to give someone? Especially if
we talk about two men? Are we talking about two men?
Yeah, two humans. No matter what their sex is. An apology could be
don't get me
powerful no
wrong.
matter who.
Man, yeah, but don't get me wrong, man. And mind you, I don't know what the source of his pain. I don't know if there is any. I don't know if it's financially motivated. I don't know if there's any. I don't know what the hell the deal is.
Wasn't it about masters
what
or
y'all
royalties
talking
or
about.
trying to own?
That was part of it, yep.
Okay.
Let's give Domani
Masters, okay, if it's about masters and
Yeah.
royalties, the thing is, if you would have done the research and learned the things that someone else knew, if you'd have taken the time and put yourself up on the value of masters rather than the value of upfront money, then you probably would have known to ask for them. But you didn't. That was a lesson you had to learn. And in learning that lesson, you lost something that could have been valuable to you. You take that loss, use it as a lesson to move forward in the future. You don't get to go back and pretend like you already knew the things that you didn't and undo the shit that you lost by not having the information. You don't get to do that.
Okay.
You don't get to relive old moments.
So he's saying he don't got his masters?
Yeah, I mean,
That's part of it.
that's
That
a
was
given.
part of it. He wasn't able to buy back his
Buy back.
masters. And,
Well, now, I mean, but was it in the contract? Was it in the contract?
man, Tip, you know it wasn't in the
Some
contract.
I ain't there.
Man, that's what we just talked about. Them
That's what I'm
contracts
saying,
weren't
but-
artists friendly.
But guess what, though?
Yeah.
But did the artist take the time to even read the contract? Did he have a lawyer? Did he say, man, just give me the money and I'll sign anything?
You know what I think it is? If back then, if we go back then, right? and one of us, even we all know each other. If Tip came to me and was like, "Man, I'm about to sign you to a deal, man. I'm about to help you reach your dreams." And
Tip still got the bike in the crack? Is that Tip?
No,
Okay.
it's post bike in the crack. He gave the crack away, but
Okay.
he's in a powerful position, influential.
Oh,
position.
I'm in the powerful position.
You're in the powerful
Okay.
position,
Uh-huh.
and you come to me and say, "Sway, I like yo, man. Let's do this. Let's
Right.
sign up, man. We already popping. We got big. You know, we're gonna add you to it.
Right.
Cool." Back then, we thought more emotionally than we did business
Whose
wise.
fault is that?
But I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
We would sign deals of our own, thinking that we wouldn't have to go through the same perils as we would having signed to people who wasn't from the culture.
And whose fault is that?
Okay, I see.
But
that
like,
now.
let's say, but me personally, I have conversations with young artists all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I gave him was a book about the music business.
Yeah.
First thing I gave King and everybody else who wants to operate in this business, I want you to understand where the money come from, where it's going to. You know what I mean? And they
Donald Passman book.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And they read it in, I guess, in spurts. I don't know if they all got all the way through it, but they had the information available to them. And now, as he is in a position to where he can negotiate his own deals, like, if you choose to bypass the information, you have to hold yourself accountable to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And from a bike on Bankhead, my first deal, I knew I need all my publishing. I knew I needed, 16 to 18 point deal for a first artist is a pretty good deal.
That's a damn good deal back then.
That's what
How old were you when you did that
18.
deal? 18. Wow.
18, 19. But I had been preparing myself since I was 10, 11, 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? Reading books, Hitmen. All you need to know about the music business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I've read Hitmen is really about all of the bad deals, all of the how to
payola.
So-
all that,
all that.
Just
yeah.
to tell you a difference, and I can't speak on their situation like you said, because none of us were there.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get put onto that Donald Passman book until 1997. And I was already past my first, actually I was 2 deals in already.
Okay.
Thank God I don't have his situation,
Yeah.
But I didn't, for me, I learned about it being around older artists at the time
Okay.
and just listening.
Right.
So I always had my publishing.
Right.
But it's a shame that I didn't get that book until 1997. By then, I was 2 full record deals in.
Okay.
So the point situation could have changed. A lot of things could have changed. But I just, thank God I had the insight to hold onto my publishing
Yeah.
and everything. So
Right.
it was different for me. But it's so many, and your kids have you. I think there's a lot of people who don't have that. To this day, somebody's going to look at this conversation and
Somebody
go, what
told
book?
somebody something.
What book is Tip talking about? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People don't give out information.
Throughout
Right.
our life. That's one part of it. People don't give out information, but also people don't take heed to the information that's given all the time. Somebody told somebody. The universe will place everything you need in front of you at some point in time. What you do with that information, how you act upon it, is going to be the result of your outcome. Like, it just ain't. I refuse to believe, because I know it. The way I learned about the book, so I was 8 years old. My uncle asked me what I wanted to do. I told him I wanted to rap because I used to rap LL, I'm bad. You know what I'm saying?
Can we hear that right now?
Nobody could rap quite like I can. I take a muscle-bound man, put his face in the sand. For the last mafioso, I forgot the rest of it.
Make them say go LL and do the WAP.
If you think you cannot remember me, yeah, boy, I bet, because I ain't met a motherfucker who could do that yet. Yeah, I used to love to get to that part, because they let me curse.
So your uncle told you.
Yeah, so I used to rap that verse, you know what I'm saying, for my uncles and shit, and pretend to be LL, and he asked me what I wanted to do. I told him I wanted to be a rapper. He said, I tell you what, you learn everything it is to know about the business, and I'm gonna make sure you have the bread to get wherever you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the research at 8, 9, 10 years old. Because of that, I was challenged. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get in this game, learn it, because I don't know nothing about it. So if you learn about it, I'll make sure that you have what you need. Now, I got the information. Then my uncle went to prison. So he couldn't keep up his part of the deal, but I still had the information. You know what I'm saying? So thankfully, he challenged me to do it, and it benefited me later on in the future. But had I said, man, I ain't doing that, and just went on about my business.
So somebody put you up on the book.
No, he didn't put me up on the book. He just challenged me to learn
get the
everything
information.
I could about it. And then I then learned. So I think I just probably went to a library or bookstore and said, how do I learn? What do I need? And they took me to the books I needed to read.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you got to be responsible.
You got to be responsible, resourceful.
It
You
helps.
got to be in tune with, what's going on around you. Most of the time, man, we only see what's on the surface.
Yeah.
And what's on the surface are the distractions. That's supposed to keep you away from the information that you need that can carry you on to the next levels and the next layers and the next parts of life, the next success, the next piece of success in life. We see the money, we see the cars, we see the jewelry. You know what I mean? All of those things. But that's really just a distraction. That's to keep you away from the information. You know what I mean? So if you look past that and dig deeper and find the information, all the rest of that shit gonna come.
The rest gonna come.
It ain't gonna stop.
Tip in here, drop it. Every time he come here, he drop it.
Always a great combo, though.
Oh,
We
yeah.
needed to have this
But
combo.
much respect to Mase though and Puffin. I hope they work it out and find a way to, get past whatever their differences is. But if you ask me, I just have a different perspective.
Oh, that's fair enough. Domani, you just came off tour, right?
Yes, sir, with
Man.
D Smoke.
Man,
Oh
come
my
on.
gosh!
Right on.
Congrats.
How was that experience, brother?
Another giant.
How was that
Yeah.
experience?
It was dope, man, especially getting back on the road after COVID. But this man is just so dope, man. He's this man plays the piano, and he was playing the piano on stage. I'm pretty sure he plays other instruments. The man speaks Spanish, and he had his whole family on the road for real. His wife was on tour with him. She came out and did her set. He had his cousins, and then he used to teach.
Yeah.
He had one of his students that graduated on the road with him. So
That's dope.
That-
Yeah, it's fire.
That's
that
fire.
was
That's fire.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you take your girlfriend on tour with you?
Nope. No. That was a good one.
That's your Uncle Sway.
That's your Uncle Sway. I never do this to him, by the way.
That's why you got in the group text, right?
Exactly.
Nah, I mean, hey man, he's his own man.
He's his own man. Your vision is impressive to me. I assume you're the type of man that has foresight, and visualizes what you want. As well as maximize the moment. And you've been on this journey, man, this independent journey, and you're very autonomous in how you move. I appreciate that. I'm curious to what you see for yourself 3 years from now.
3 years, definitely want to. I got my own label called Forever Records. Definitely want to start signing artists and just helping artists. I want to establish my own self first, just to make sure I know what I'm doing exactly, and then definitely want to start helping other artists.
Helping out. So
In the
he'll
next
be
3 years.
and he'll be 23. Ain't
Yeah.
that something?
24 actually.
24. Oh yeah, that's right. He
Quick
just
math.
turned 21.
Just
Quick
turned
math.
21.
Damn, that was pretty good. Tip was good
Yeah.
in mathematics.
I told you.
That bike,
Too
Sway. That
early.
bike up and down Bankhead.
I want to go to Dreamville Fest, right?
Okay.
And I want to see what's going to take place there. Are you going to be there, Tip? Is that scheduled?
I'm scheduled to be there.
And it's going to Drama is doing something with Gangsta Grills, right?
Yep.
And you and Jeezy and who else do you know?
And Tunchi.
And Tunchi, right?
Oof.
Wow.
Wow.
Gangsta Grills. I don't know if
Gangsta.
the legacy of that brand, man. How important, like the significance of that. Like when we look at Atlanta and how Atlanta is just sustained and held, now it's just at the top of the pyramid now when it comes to productivity through this culture. What role did Gangsta Grills play in that? You think?
Man, Gangsta Grills is synonymous with trap music. You dig? I think as trap music was introduced, as I was introduced, as Jeezy was introduced, as Gucci was introduced, as Wayne as a solo artist was introduced. Like that's Gangsta Grills grew at the same time. It was on the same timeline. So I think that it's tethered to the success of the Atlanta or the trap music culture. Drama for a long time, was an integral piece of the Grand Hustle family. So a lot of those tapes and a lot of those movies, and the Fed case, because a lot of people don't remember.
I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Drama had a Fed case. The Feds was on him. Buy some fucking CDs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The motherfucking people in the industry put the fucking Feds on Drama.
Yeah. But the crazy
Buy
part,
some fucking CDs.
but they gave him the music.
They gave him the music because it was a promotional, because they use it as free promo for when they were dropping albums on their key artists. And so that was entrapment like a motherfucker. So you give me the music, I put the shit out, and now you going to put the Feds on me. Ain't this some bullshit?
Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a blessing to watch it come full circle. I think Drama has now become a keen,
absolutely,
artist, builder, finder, businessman, producer, executive producer, A&R, ear for talent.
Yeah.
The generation now is, they have some of the biggest artists in the game, from Lil Uzi to Jack Harlow,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing, to be to watch the growth. You know what I'm saying? To watch Drama and the team around him, watch them grow from Gangsta Grills. Him, Don Cannon, Sense. Watch them grow from Gangsta Grills. I remember my first Gangsta Grills, or my first Drama freestyle. I went to a crib that me and Jason went to, a crib that they had over in Fourth Ward, over off Boulevard, and this is an area in Atlanta that's gentrified now, but I'm talking about before white people started walking their dogs up the street. You know what I'm saying? when it was still like a well-known trap, and they were in there. He had his turntable set up right in the front in the living room, a little mic, headphone set. And I went in there and did my verse and whatnot. And I remember that was, in the verse, I introduced the moniker King of the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he kind of like, he looked around like, what did nigga just say? And you know what I'm saying? And to see it go from that to now him actually owning a label, and operating a label, and providing opportunities for new artists to introduce them into the business. Shit just dope.
It's crazy.
Look, man, T.I. and Domani here.
Shout
I know
out to Drama.
we're going to have to wrap it up in a little bit because Heather got to use the studio for Urban Butte.
Don't do that.
Your dad is King of the South, and we went from King of the South to Kill the King.
Yeah.
And that's coming?
Yeah, Kill the King on the way, man. I got the music is there. You know what I mean?
Why you killing the king, bro?
Well, Kill the King is really like a euphemism for starving the ego.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? I've learned that, a lot of celebration of self, it ostracizes others who may not have the same level of confidence, and it could, kind of disrupt some interaction. You know what I mean? A lot of times, especially back in the early 2000s and shit, I feel like the title of King of the South walked in the room way before I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times I'm dealing with people based on their perception of me. They posture themselves a certain way because they think, I can't let him, he think he the king, I can't let him, I gotta be, and I gotta, and you know what I mean? And really, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, we all kings. I was just the first to say it. I made everybody else now feel like now you can say that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't say I was the only king. You know what I mean? If you really felt that way about yourself, it wouldn't be no need for, you having this weird energy. So I just feel like, I started it, I can end it. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, tip, man. Hey, man, this is a magnificent experience sitting and talking with the both of you, and I want to tell you I appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
We appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate that. Absolutely.
And thank you too, Heather.
You already
I
know.
appreciate everybody and you too in Brooklyn.
Tracy G.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Domani, was anything else you wanted to say before we cut out?
I got an album out called Skydive.
There you go.
I got the merch out.
Let's go.
Skydive merch. New season dropping soon. That's pretty much it, man. Thank you
Man,
for having me.
the Family Connect video is now, streaming. Everywhere you can go watch videos. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
There it is,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? All Deaf Digital, if you guys, you know what I'm saying, please go and support All Deaf Digital. Look out for the apartments. It's coming soon. And you can catch me April 9th, man, at the Barclays Theater, man, for the April Fool's Comedy Jam.
Yo, that's crazy. We in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Wow.
also on the next week, right, on the 20, whatever Thursday is, I think it's the 25th, 24th. Okay, on the 24th, we'll be at the Trap Music Museum.
That's Wednesday.
We are
It's the 24th, right?
24th is Thursday. Okay, excellent.
Shit.
All right, so we will be celebrating the Trapper of the Year.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Trap Music Museum. We dedicate an exhibit to the Trapper of the Year, and it comes with an award. The award is a championship ring, real diamonds, real materials. You know what I'm saying? That goes to the most consistent artist of the year. So for 2021, we are proud to present Moneybag Yo
Moneybag Yo.
with the Trapper of the Year award.
Wow.
And so
Congratulations.
Nice.
Well earned.
that event will be at the Trap Music Museum on Thursday. And now we're in deliberations about who it will be for 2022.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So anybody, man, who in town, and if you come into town, stop by the Trap Music Museum. You know what I mean? It's a phenomenal experience.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's a phenomenal experience. I'm proud to have been able to celebrate the culture in such a way and maintain its authenticity, in my own city, in the Bluff,
Yeah.
And the Bluff is, the West Side, like one of the most how can I say this? One of the most treacherous areas for an outsider. You know what I'm saying?
I watched Snow in the Bluff too.
You did. One of the most treacherous areas for an outsider. But now has the number 3, I believe, place for tourism in Atlanta. The Trap Music Museum, it was top 5 for tourists, top 5 destinations for tourists in the city. You know what I'm saying? So
Congratulations
I
on
mean,
that.
that was super. That was super
huge. You
dope.
bringing people from all over the world to Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. But to the Bluff.
To the Bluff of
You know what I'm saying? Bringing people from all over the world to the Bluff.
Yes.
So I'm proud of that.
Man, I'm proud of you, Tip. Keep going, man.
Thank you.
We feeding off of that.
Thank you.
Domani saying,
Thank
man. We
Yes,
feeding
sir.
off
Thank
that,
you.
all right? Thank you guys for joining us today.
Love and respect.
Absolutely. As we conclude today's show, we broadcasting live in L.A. all week long.
All week, baby.
Tracy, they can reach you where?
Twitter, Instagram, It's Tracy G, ITSTRACYG, and find me out here in Brooklyn.
There it is. DJ MOS, thank you for hanging out.
MOS.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, they
It's
can
fun.
reach you where?
At DJ MOS on Instagram, at DJ MOS on Twitter.
Have the bees going to Urban View?
Well, I'm at the happy hour, WHB. I'm sitting right here for the next show.
All right, I'm at Real Sway across the board. Thank you for tuning in, citizens. Stay on the right side of positivity. Have a productive day. And on that note, we have nothing left to say.